Okay, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Lions Lounge Lockdown, episode 38. Ronnie Bull. Here he is. Finally, Ron, you're on. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Good, mate. Good. Thank you very much as well for getting me on in the end.
You said to me, why have you left me so long? I said, it wasn't like that. Just, do you know what it was? The ones that I never, ever thought I could get. Do you know what I mean? You've always gone Millwall after you stopped playing. And when it started to flow, when I first started doing them in March on that group chat, Denzel was going, bang, he'll do it tomorrow. Bosh, he'll do it the next day. And I'm like, strike while the iron's hot. Because when that lull drops, they'll probably go, why the fuck did I do that? But you're a good man. I know you from outside of football as well. So I've made no notes today because I can talk. If people think I can talk for fun, fuck me, they're in for a treat here with you.
All right, mate, I'll tell you the truth, right? I was going to dress up, all right? And I've got in a little bit. I've been out this morning to work and I've come back in. And thank God I didn't, mate, because my neighbours just knocked and dropped a parcel, all right, off for if I had some naughty gear on it, it'd been like, mate, I should have been looking at me in a different way. So maybe next it'd be fun.
Boys were on you, weren't they, mate, in the group chat or something, because you was coming on today. You said to me earlier, did you tell Stephen Reid I was coming on? I said, no.
Yeah, I got last night, mate, the phone was pinging away. I didn't even want to respond to anything because the boys were coming for me a little bit.
What, in the group chat?
Yeah, I said some things later on, like what I'd done and stuff like that. And they said, bring it up. But there's no sovereigns anymore. No Seconda gold watch. All in the Hackney pawn shop. I did. I took the boys are coming for me with that. Yeah.
Who was the main instigator?
Reedy put it there straight away. And then Top joined in. I ain't heard him on that chat for a while. Cardiff won, have they? So, you know. Yeah, I ain't heard him. Like, he come on, he was caning me. Yeah, and then Birchie and Scass as well.
Oh, my God.
I don't even. He brings up stories what I can't even remember.
Oh, mate, he's ruthless, Denzel. Get well suited, Denzel, by the way. He's in the madness that is 2020 and 2021. 6'4" goalkeeper, spent his whole life throwing himself at people's feet. And he's broke his leg, slipped over on the ice outside his house like an old granny and broke his leg. So get well suited, Tone. Don't know why I'm laughing.
No, yeah, I think he's into. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. Seeing a specialist, he says. So fingers crossed.
Kicking on, mate. So we're all kicking on now. But let's wind it back to the very, very beginning of your Millwall career. Obviously, you came through the youth system at the Den. Is that right?
Yes. Come through the youth system with like many of the lads went on in that team. What we played in, what we got promotion, and had a good chance of getting in the Premiership. Yeah, it was good. Even through that though, even like the boys, like so Reedy, we was in the same age group. Dolan was a year older than us. I was like a year older, but like with Reedy there, he was one of them. I played against him when we were like London v Surrey and things like that. And Lake Hay as well. Lake Hay, I don't see. He was unlucky, broke his ankle. I think he would have been a bit of a good player to like go on. He was South London boy, so you know what I mean. It was a bit of an age where we knew each other. Robbie Davis as well was a good player, was out of North London. So yeah, the youth team was good. And then the lights when we did go there, like Timmy come over, Ives come in, Joe come in, and we had a good bunch of lads like with that. Just now, like trying to think back. It's a long time ago, mate. You know what I mean?
It was a long time ago.
What? And that was like 95. I joined Millwall, 96. If I look back now, like certain things about my career, it's just meant I was at Fulham, all right? And I remember, like, we were playing, I think we played Wickham. And the ball went over. It was like East Dual we used to train at some fire station, Banstead, I think it was. If I'm like now, I'm going back even more years. And the ball went in, like, the bushes. And we had never had another football to, like... to carry on, mate. It was blinding. Like all these, we're playing Wickham, by the way. Fulham v Wickham. You'd think like Wickham was just a new team at the time, and the ball went in the bushes, mate. We had to go get. No one could get out. It was in the phones and getting a corner flag away. I was trying to get. That's how bad it was. And then I was there, and they had nothing. Like at the time, I remember they had like Sean Davis was playing. Like it was. You thinking like players like that were coming through. I got a whisper about going to Millwall. So I didn't just jump at the chance to say go there. I spoke with my scout at the time and Alan Baxford, just make sure like it was the right move to go at, like, under 16 to go across. So I did in that way, but with that, it was like Millwall top of the league. of the, I think it might have been the old Division 1.
Right.
When McCarthy, sorry, it's under Mick McCarthy.
Yeah.
Remember when they were flying? Because I was going over Millwall, because remember they signed the Russians, Sergei Uran and
Kulkov, yeah.
the painter and decorator, weren't he? Just never got off the beat. Benched him. He's always injured in Budweiser, I was told.
Always pissed up, that's why.
Yeah. And they were flying Millwall when I was going over there watching them, and I was thinking this ain't going to be a bad team. They're pushing for the Premiership at the time. And it just, after that Christmas, I think I signed when Mick was there 1 week. Mick was there for 1 week and he left. And I was like, what's going on here?
Oh, fuck me. So what a time to come into the club then. After that, we was in free fall. We got relegated.
Yeah. Didn't win a game, did they? From after Christmas. And I was like, oh, and then this was the maddest thing. I ended up meeting Sean Davis, just randomly at shopping, all right? And not like Christmas, like fucking food shopping, I just went shopping one day and he was out and he went to me, you ain't gonna believe it. I was like, what? He said, fucking Firehead's only gone and bought Fulham. And I was like, what? He said, it's unreal. He's gone like that. He's gone in his wallet, pulled out. He's got Aaron's card. All these boys from Wandsworth, Battersea.
Mate, I used to play against Sean Davis. He was Ziggy's and I was Long Lane.
Yeah, Ziggy's, yeah. That's it, yeah. And I'm not being funny. He was like, Ron, it's completely changed. How are you getting on? I went, other than that, Mick's left and we ain't won a game.
Well, I bet you was hunting that scout down, weren't you?
No, I was like, oh my God, I was young, you know what I mean? But when you think of it, when you think back at it, they had a great chance.
So man, just little decisions you make there that just takes you a different way. But mate, listen, we was glad to have you at the den. You was a character from start to finish. Did you you was mental as a first team player, and you're still a bit crazy now. As an apprentice, I bet you was a complete fucker, weren't you?
Oh mate, I'm telling you, you know what? It was great. Actually, we had a great bunch of lads as well. Again, as I say, going through, but in the younger days, we had a good side as well. I think we third in what they call it. It went into academy then because our age group was the last YTS when you done jobs and stuff like that, the bogs and all that, and even being with the cook, Rita in the kitchen cleaning all the pots and pans and stuff, everything. Everyone had jobs and the boots, and I do believe that should still be in a way, you know what I mean? But some people might disagree with that.
No, I agree, mate. It's fucking brilliant, wasn't it? Made a man of you, and these boys now, they're fucking millionaires before they've touched the first team, and that's why they're not interested, half of them.
Jesus,
I'm not talking Millwall players, I'm talking further up.
No, that's what I mean. And but it was crazy with that. We had great, mate. And the thing is, I didn't know no different. Even when we got older, we'd all go out like 20-handed, even in the youth team. We'd say, even Reedy lived in Kingston. So we'd say, all right, Reed, we're coming over to you, this weekend. You know what I mean? And we just all go, all night out in Kingston, then vice versa. Then Bromley was always the place to go because the boys were in digs. There was just, mate, it was great. There was mad stuff used to go on. And it's, you know, I keep thinking, because it's early in the morning, I think it's just...
It's like, mate, this is going to go out late night. Don't worry, it's not live.
It was just mad, mate. I wish people tell stories about me and me telling stories about myself, but it's just, that's crazy, mate. I remember we used to all get in the bath, you know, the first team boys, they'd be gone by 1 o'clock latest, you know what I mean? 12 gone. And then we'd get in the bath. They had a massive bath in there. And everyone would be in there. People would just be doing things, mate. One day I just had a big shit in there and just it floated up and everyone dived out who's shit in the bath and all that. It's just mental, mate. Things what goes on. It's just...
Yeah. Whose boots did you clean?
I'll tell you what, I had a touch, mate. I'm going to tell you this now, right? I had Tony Witter, the old fucking crowd finders. I used to polish them up, mate. Listen.
The crowd finders?
Oh, mate, yeah. And he was sponsored by Nike. He used to always just, mate, he had the best boots, all right? And he always wanted them don't wet them, never wet them. You know, like that. Just, all right. But every Friday, mate, cha-ching, he'd pull a pinky out there's a 50, son.
Really?
I was on £42.50 a week, mate, and he's throwing a 50 at me.
Well, every Friday?
Yeah, every Friday, mate. I used to get a 50 off him.
Fucking hell. I think, no disrespect to him, I just want to get him on the show. I think he's a plumber now.
Seriously?
I think he's a plumber, yeah.
He was quality wits. I've got to admit, he was nice and had time for the youngsters as well, not just a typical pro. Be fair, he showed me his pay packet once. I had to carry it in, mate. I got a bad back after. I wonder why he's throwing around Reddies, mate. I'm telling you.
Was he on wedge?
Yeah.
Do you know what as well? Because I've researched him, trying to find him to get him on the show, because I used to love him. You called him the crowd finders, obviously. The Boots, the crowd finders, because he kept shanking out of play.
You could never run him, though.
Well, he used to lose the ball and then he'd make recovering tackles from like 30 yards behind people because he was so quick. Yeah. But the best times in his career, the most appearances he ever made was for Millwall.
Seriously?
Yeah, he never really played a lot of games for any team other than Millwall. He played 125 times for us. You said he was on an absolute wedgerino, yeah?
Yeah, he was. He got like when he used to get remember the old days, just give you the old pay packet, like not with the money in it, but like with your slip. Like,
was he giving it one of them?
No, it's just like, he said, carry that in, bully son. I like that. What? Like, what? And he went, have a butcher's at that. And I was like, what? I was like, I wonder why he was driving around in Mercs and all that. You know what I mean? The old Fiesta gang that he was pinging up in Mercs. I was like, wow, he was good. I had Bobby Barry, and Bob was like the same size as me. So he used to give me a load of Val Sports. And when I learned to drive with Bob, I used to drop him down Ridley Market to get his haircut on a Friday. So he used to drop me like 30, 40 quid.
Oh, really?
So I had a touch, really.
You had bits running outside of playing on the pitch, didn't you? You weren't fussed about getting in the first team.
Yeah, I'll get back to cleaning boots. I'll be all right. But no, it just, with that, I was lucky enough. Paul Shaw as well. Shawsy was good. Wow. He was a nice fellow, he was. Left me with a big scar on my head as well when he played with Gillingham. I nutted the back of his old bald nut, mate, and my head just opened up. I was like, yeah, but he was a nice fella. He's a nice fella. But yeah, going back to like the youth days, mate, it was, and so we had a great bunch of lads. And it was only a few, it's horrible to say that, but I think it was only about, if I know you say 5 or 6, but probably out of a 20-man squad or a 25-man squad, I think nearly all of us got pro. You know, Smith, goalkeeper, and he went on to have a football career. But even him, like there, Billy Mead at the time, like, was the chairman's son, so that probably, I'll wind him up now if I see him. Like, but no, he was
Peter Mead. Peter Mead, some of that.
Peter Mead. Billy played in our youth team. I made my debut with him as well. Byron Bubb, another one. Mark Hicks. There's no Mark Phillips. Sex Kate. You know what I mean? Like he's even mate. He'd done a Robbo come through, and that's what I mean. Like we had loads. Big Joe Dolan.
That production line's unbelievable, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, he was already playing in the first team. Big JD. You know what I mean? You think, then the likes of Reedy Ives, Timmy. It just goes mad. Like, and I said Lake. And then remember the time, I think he got pro as well.
Tommy Times from around my way. He played for Long Lane. They plucked him from sort of non-league, I think.
He was a pro. I feel sorry if I leave anyone out. Leon Court.
Well, Leon Court, getting back on, people might not care, but Leon Court was, we was Long Lane, they was Ziggy's. Every year it was us v them in the London Cup final. None of us made it other than Jamie Day. Leon Court was the goalkeeper for Ziggy's. Yes. And Julian Gray, Sean Davis, Gary Alexander. So they done all right, them boys. But and then I see Leon Court all of a sudden sign for Millwall. I'm like, I remember him. He's going to be the new keeper. He's fucking playing centre back.
He was at.
What the fuck's happening here?
Yeah, he was at Fulham with me, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And he was at Fulham, and then as I said, I left, and then he come to Millwall. Look, but it's like anything. Like with even the lads what come in, like he was in our youth team. Even Joe Dolan was centre halves. Like in the youth, just chewing up everyone. You know,
recruitment.
Like,
as well as players coming through homegrown. What do you know about this Bob Pearson, mate? Because everyone seems to mention him. He's like the fucking missing link. He's a little bit like a time traveller. He seems to be everywhere at every time, bringing everyone into the club.
You know what? I spoke to a few of the boys. I think when the season started, and just talking to him. And someone brought it up on that. He's still alive. Well, God bless him. You know, in that way, I would never wish anyone dead. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They said
that's what I'm saying, mate. From like,
I swear to God, he was dying when I was at the club. And I don't mean that ruthlessly, but
well, I've done players from the 80s, the 90s, the noughties, and all of them think, Bob Pearson contacts him, or Bob Pearson can't watch me play in a fucking field in the back end of fucking Ireland, and he brought me over. Like, it just seems to be like ageless.
Yeah, when I first joined, it was Alan Baxter, but they were like, in other words, like that. And when I joined, about a year later, Bob come back. The next thing, it was like the Messiah. You know what I mean? Like, he's back, like, and I was like, wow, like, who's this? And be fair, he loved me. So I couldn't complain, but I got to admit, and I'll probably tell this a little bit later, that when I left the club, he didn't like me. And I don't care, mate. Listen, I don't play football anymore. I don't pay my bills. I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I work tomorrow. So, and I won't be killing a lot of people, by the way. Like, but it's true. It's true. Like, mate, I pissed him off. And mate, and I was gone. Gary Johnson was at Yeovil. And I've just, like, Gary Johnson was the manager, and I was on loan to Yeovil. And he's phoned Mark McGee and said, listen, thanks very much for, like, letting him come on loan. You know what I mean? Like, I went there and they ain't won a game for the first, 10 games. We went 7 unbeaten or 7 wins or something crazy. And, like, and he said, like, I got manager of the month. And I'm not saying me, by the way. He was saying me. I was still fucking kicking it out of the ground. And
the road finders.
Yeah. I got a phone call from Mark McGee. Literally, like, oh, well done there, son. You know what I mean? Gone out, got yourself fit and all, and got game time. Look, blah, blah, blah. Next thing, Bob's just phoned me up and said, you got to sign for them. I was like, 20 years of age. I'm like, 21, 22, 23 years of age. I think, hang on. Like, fucking hell, Bob, go easy. I've just had I'm telling you, son, if they offer you a contract and, like, the money and all that where you're on, and they give you a little bit more, you should take it. He said, your career's done. At Millwall, boom. I'm in a room like that. I'm looking at the 4 walls of this fucking thing and thinking, hold on.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm in carrot crunching land. Like, I don't know where I am.
Quite a long way from home, that, mate. I've been there. We used to work in Somerset years and years ago.
Don't get me wrong. They made me feel very welcome there. Good. You know what I mean? They're like I say like that. They've only got football around. There's nothing else.
No.
And but yeah, I'll get on to that later, mate. With that, but yeah.
Who was your youth team manager at Millwall then? You said,
oh, mate. Well, you know what? When I first went when Mick left, we had Ian MacDonald. And see, I remember these names like that because these people you start learning your trade with them. And he was great. But I come to Millwall a little bit early. Then the other boys come I come a year before you're supposed to. I was at school, but I was a bit naughty at school and weren't going to school. And mate, the best thing is my head teacher just spoke with my mum and dad and spoke to Millwall at the time. I think it was Alan Baxter and said, could he just come in?
Please take him.
Yeah, just please take him. In other words, like my mum likes it as well because. But yeah, and I did. I went in from the age of was under 16, so we would have gone the next year into like Millwall then like as a YTS as being that. So I was really like 15, 16. So I was like already playing with players. That's where I met Birchie. Like they were in the youth team. Phil O'Neill, Stevie Harris, people like that who. So they were still playing in there. Sammy Thompson at the time, characters Stuart Jenkins. I remember they had good. Phil Smith, the goalkeeper as well. So there was loads, mate. There was just loads. And yeah, so I see the team. What a lot of people, what I looked at was like the Ben Thatcher was playing, Tony Dolby. You know what I mean? People like that. There was loads, mate. You know, Rhino. Can't forget the old rhinoceros. And, it's mad, mate. And I was saying about Casey Keller when you said to me about that. I said, "Has he done his part?"
Yeah. There were so many players there, weren't there, in that time? So many players in and out the door. It's a mad time at the club.
And that's what I mean. In the sea, like Bobby, Ricky Newman, and it just keeps going on. And them boys are still training there. But gradually that year, everyone started going. Ben Thatcher straight out the door. They took the money for him, and you knew he was always going to play at another level. You know, with him. And then that's when, he took the job. I don't know who come in. You know, it was Ian MacDonald. I remember, like, was my youth team manager for, and then there was a massive shake-up that summer. And I remember being there because I think the club went into administration, didn't it?
Yeah.
If I'm right, you know what I mean, mate.
So did you get your pro contract before, during, or after the administration?
No, mate, I had a bit of a stinker, mate. I broke my ankle and I was out for a whole season. And I was like 15 years of age. You got your chance when they all like went into administration. I was there was like people going everywhere. The doors were flying open. People were going. You heard stories that like you can see people there. People got mortgages and stuff like that. Players were like sweating. We had a big meeting and everyone had to go. People they were saying like why not get paid? I remember just looking around. People like big Damien Webber. I remember him and he was a bit of an influence in the team, like dressing room because he was a leader. He was like rounding up. It might have been a PFA rep as well, like so he's rounding up the troops and having a word with them about stuff. And you can see people's faces that like club would go under. In them days, I don't think there was a lot of that going on, was there? Like you know, like
no, he was one of the first.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people were a bit scared in the club. And but it give the youngsters a chance to get in. I remember, like, I was 15 years of age, and Rhino was youth team manager, reserve team manager. And I remember I got off at South Bermondsey, like just with my Millwall tracksuit. I'm thinking I'm going to be ball boy down at a reserve game against Norwich. Next thing you know, I've gone in Greg's, on the corner. I'm walking back with like fucking Belgian bum, mate. I'm scoffing on it. Just felt a clout around the back of my head like that. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I was like, I leave it, right? Like that. He said, you fucking playing today? I ain't even bought my boots. Because I think they're 16 years of age. I ain't going to get in there. Like, he smacked me right in the back of the head. Like, I was like, I'm playing. My arsehole's just dropped out. You know what I mean? The fucking Belgian bun's gone through me. Boss. I was like, oh. Next thing you know, you're getting like fucking. I end up borrowing Lee McRoberts' boots because he got the elbow, and I was sub, and I come on like after about 60 minutes.
At 15, at 15 years old.
I was 15, 16, under 16s, yeah, under 16s. And I went, oh, this is unreal. And I remember Craig Bellamy played in that game, and he was one chirpy bastard, mate. Then later on, when you play against him, he got worse and worse. Like, but he had good banter.
Who gave you your pro contract? Who was manager at that point?
Oh, manager then. That's what I'm saying. It was crazy. Like Rhino was the manager, but it was quite weird because that was the year I broke my ankle and I was completely like gone for a whole season. It all went windscreen when I got to the final. I made my debut about a week before that. There was a few of us, arresting the lads as well. Like didn't want no injuries. So I think Robbie said it as well. Jamie Stewart was injured all the way up to it, and I think he played in the final.
Yeah, he started, yeah.
That's when he gets the needle, like Robbie starts spitting and all that, doesn't he? Yeah. He'll get it, in a little bit. Don't worry about that. Yeah. But no, it was Rhino. But I remember it was like about 3 weeks before the season was ending. I made my debut, and I was thinking like, I ain't been offered a pro contract. So I was just honest. I just made a few phone calls and said like to an agent and said, look,
so you'd already made your debut before you was even a pro.
Yeah, and I was like one of the last ones to sign.
Right.
Like, I think it was all signed up. Like, and the boys were playing in the first team. You know what I mean? And I was like, I made my debut, and I'm like still on like £47.50 a week. Weren't even, mate. You weren't like that. I just wanted to be a professional football player. And I was like, oh. So I remember just going out to Rhino one day, and I was going to go. Like, in other words, on trial to another club. Like, and I already sorted it all out. And then I just went out to Ryan and I said, look, Ryan, I went, look, next week, can I like have time off? Like, and he was like that, and I was waiting for a dig off him, you know what I mean? He was like looking at me like, what are you going on about? And I just like, Ryan, I said, like, I want to go on trial. And he was like, trial? You've been naughty, haven't you? No. I went, I've only got like about a month left. And I think it was like coming April or something like that. I mean, I've only got a month left, like, on my contract. So I said, like, I want to be a professional football player, so I want to go on trial. And he just looked at me like that. He went, 1 minute. He said, go in there, go and have something to eat. So I went in. So next thing, about 10 minutes late, call Bully, like, you got to go upstairs, Rhino wants you. And Max, I got out in the office, he went, Bob will be down in a minute, and we'll sort your contract out. Exactly how it went.
Quality.
I was like, oh. So I think they might have thought I was already a pro. Or I don't know.
Just overlooked you sort of, with everything going on in the club, they might have overlooked it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. And then, like, as I said, I spoke to my agent, Dave Manassi at the time, Jonathan Barnett, and they were like, well, it's up to you if you want to stay there. I was like, yeah, of course I want to stay. And the other club were bigger, but I just was like, well, at the time they were bigger, but they always have been bigger. but yeah, that's another thing. I should have retired then, mate, because every fucking decision I've done, mate, was just terrible. I got a chance to play for Millwall, and I loved it. And that's
did you get like a 2-year deal or 1-year deal?
It was weird. I signed, just a 1-year deal, and I swear to God, mate, I signed that on April, May, and we come back from pre-season. I've done first 2 weeks in pre-season. They give me a 3-year deal.
Really?
I was like, yeah. That's what I did think. Did they forget about like me in a way that was I already a pro, but I wasn't.
So you got a 1-year deal, went away from summer, come back after 3 weeks to give you another 3-year deal.
Yeah. So it was like pre-season. I just got a call up. Bob went to me, get your agent to call me. That's what I mean. It was Bob. It was Bob. It wasn't like Theo. It was
Yeah.
probably
Oh, yeah,
like,
because Theo would have been in by now, wouldn't he? Yeah, of course he would have been.
yeah, Theo was in. Yeah, he was in early doors. It was like, I remember him when he took over and thingy. But yeah, it was like Bob spoke to my agent and he just phoned me up and said, they want to give you a 3-year deal, Ron. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, lovely. And it just went like that with it.
And so then that season when you got in, under Rhino and Macca, that would have been the season when they didn't do.
Yes.
They didn't do too bad at all, did they? They didn't do too bad at all, and then end up losing their job. Is that season? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the season I got my deal, and then that season when they got sacked, I think it was after Brentford, wasn't it? We got beat. I always remember that.
Was you getting in at that point, or?
Did I get in? Yeah, you know what? I say like that. They went with just what they knew. Like Jamie was their left back, and then Rob come in, and then said I was in and out of the team as that. I was still a youth team player, if you understand what I mean. I was
still finding your way. Yeah.
The likes of Timmy were just getting in. Ives were just getting in. Reed. Who was it? Danny Oxon was Billy Bonds' one. Sads was just getting in. I forgot about that. Even like Sads come over from Ireland and played my team. Fucking hell, sorry, Sads. Like, you know, it's just mad, mate. When you look back, it's just fucking players. Unreal. What like was there?
So yeah. Billy Bonds was obviously before, wasn't he? He was before Rhino.
Yes. And that's what I mean. Billy Bonds, he was good. I like Bill. I know a lot of Millwall fans would be like, oh, leave it out. Like, it's West Ham. I understand that. But he was a good bloke, as I say, and Patsy Holland as well. They were good blokes in that way. Listen, the older pros might say a little bit different, but he was good. And he was a fucking nutcase, mate. He was like 51, mate, and he would take he'd do all the running with you. And he'd just randomly just come in like after we'd be training with the youth team, and he'd just come over and go, hey, come on, boys, we're going for a run through the woods. And he'd just be leading it. And like he was just you know what I mean? With him, I know he signed a few players as well, like West Ham connections and things like that. Really like. But yeah, he was all right. But under him, a lot of the boys got involved. You know what I mean? Got involved in like.
I'm sure you told me once. Did you tell me a story years ago? So if you did, we can recap because obviously they're like 4 or 5 years old in them videos. Did you say like if 2 players are having a ruck, he just go right, stop you 2 straight on?
Yeah. I'll tell you, it was blinding, mate. It was blinding. Like as I say, going back then, I'm just thinking about like my career with them. But with that, like there was he would like put on some mad sessions. Like he would wind you up. Like if you knew like you got a call, like as you come out of training ground, pros are over there, like youth team over there. That's it. And he used to put like a session. I always remember it. Like you had to mark one player. So like I'll just mark you the whole thing, and it'd be like 11v11. But you couldn't tackle like Reedy or Ives. You had to tackle like your player. So if he got the ball away with the other side, you left him, you got the ball. Like he'd be going mad. I remember like getting wound up. And Ricky Newman and Kim Grant, they used to come in together. They were at like Guildford Aldershot that way. And they were like best mate. But I got to admit, Newman, mate, he used to fucking moan if you give the ball away. He'd give the ball away. And everyone, like, you think,
he can talk. Yeah, I was going to say. I
was like looking at him like that, fucking hell, bully. And I was like, you know, like, that's when you freeze or you don't freeze, and then or you give it back to him. You're like, shut up, you fucking old prick, like, you know, like, give it to like that. And but he was there. And be fair to Granty could have the laziest days. He could finish like goal scoring. People might even say that, like when he played for Millwall, like he could goals, but he'd be lazy. But if you had him on your side and you were doing a keep ball, and he wouldn't give monkeys, mate, you know, like that. And I remember one day he was just having a beast, and Newman was like, Granty, you're going to liven up. You've got to liven up. And he was like that. And he gave the ball away. Fucking hell, Granty, fucking hell. You know, Granty just turned around to him and went to him, listen, you fucking say one more thing. He said, you're getting it. Yeah. And he went, yeah. And they just literally, like, just had it like a full-on straightener, like there. And I remember Bill was going like, don't touch him. Don't touch him. Like, you know, like, let
him get on with it.
Oh, Granty, give it to him. And like, vice versa. Like, go on, Neumann, give it. And like, boys just got puffed out, mate, in seconds. Like, and like, I mean, no football player can have a round, mate. Listen. With Millen and all that. And there was he was all going to come in and like pull them apart and give them kisses and cuddles. And next thing, Bill was just like edging it on. And in the end, like, as soon as it finished, he went shake his hand and just threw the ball back in, mate. Carry on.
Then they got in a car and drove home together and all. That's an eventful journey.
Get in the car, like, and just drive home with each other. And, but yeah, Bill, in that way, it was like that. And as I say, things I've done, like, I was a bit like crazy. I think I told you when, like, I never knew Gary Alexander was Millwall because he played with West Ham, the horrible side. And I think I told you one of the last ones I've done with her is when I had the fight on the pitch, and we were playing West Ham at Chadweath, and they had like a proper firm over there, West Ham, watching the game. Like, mate, it was proper good. Like, at the time, they were flying. They had a very good youth team. And I think there must have been easily 100 people more. It might have been more because it was all fenced off. And it was a bit of needle. They were 2-0 up. And I think Gary scored as it goes. And I remember Paul Allen's nephew played. And he wasn't a bad player. And I just didn't like him from day one. You know, like when you play against him, he was chirpy and all that. But I played left back, he played centre midfield. So you'd have to swap over to go and get him. You know, so you've got to go left back for a minute, mate, because you've got to put it on him. Like, but I remember he just he booted me in my back. And like, as I went in for a tackle, and just me and Gary went in, and I just took everything and just like just volleyed me right in my back. But he ran off, and as I was getting up, as I said, I felt sorry with Gary. I just nutted Gary, like, and I always remember that. Like, I just went bang and nutted him, and I got bloody fucking sent off. And then straight away, we ended up getting a 2-2 draw, so it was a good sending off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he got sent off for kicking me as well because the ref did see it, and it just a mass brawl just started, and then. I remember going back, and Bill was the manager at the time, and Patsy, and so we had to go back to the ground. And we had a home game, so I've gone back to the ground, and the boys have gone out to do their warm up, and I just heard Mick Flanagan. He was another one as well. I'll talk about him in a minute. Mick, he went to me straight away like, "You got to go in and see Bill and Patsy." I was like, "Oh no!" So I've gone walking in. And he's sitting there at the desk. He's a big geezer as well, so he's just staring at it like, "What do today?" I went, "Oh, here we go." I said, "Oh, Bill, like," I said, I called Gaffer. I said, "Look, yeah," I said, I got sent off. He went, "I know that. What did you do?" I just said, I said, like a little kid, he kicked me in the back, and I got up and just
started it
like that, and it was just, and I just, yeah, no, and he just was like that. He went, "Oh, you can't be doing that. That's like uncalled for, especially like headbutting and things like that. You can get banned and all that." So anyway, as I walked out the door, he went, "Wait, Bully," he come back and he went, "Yeah." He said, "Did you get him?" And I said, he went, "Yeah, no." What his first word? He went, "Did you hurt him?" Or something. Them lines like, "Did you get him good?" Like, no. I just popped my head back and went, "Yeah, yes, Gaffer." And he went, "Good boy." He was mental, mate. I was thinking, I thought I was going to get like fined or something like that. And he was good. But yeah, a few things I've done like in the youth team. I remember telling like Rita, the cook, to fuck off when she was like doing me head in one day. She was going on something. I went, "Fuck off, Rita." Got called back into Bill as well. He said, "Ron, you can't be swearing at women." I was fucking having a moan up at me about cleaning the pots every 2 minutes. I was like, all the time, Rita as well. She's a good one. Like Ron. Bertie stayed with them, with Rita and Ron. She was the cook and Ron was the groundsman, the training ground. And like as I said, in YTS days, you had to do like the chores, and I was in with her. She always used to ask me, "I want Ronnie, I want that Bully, the ginger one." Fucking hell, Rita, man. I had great hands. That's why I still got nice hands now. I like that. Fucking
were they fairy soft?
Oh, fairy stuff. Yeah, give me a Ronnie. I want him again this term. I think he swapped over every 6 weeks to go do different jobs, like clean boots, do the changing rooms. But yeah, she was good as gold. But I remember telling her to fuck off, mate. It was hilarious. She ran straight up to Bill. "He's pretty rude. He's swearing at me." Upstairs again, mate. I got upstairs and she thingy. And he said, "What'd you say to her?" I told her to fuck off, Bill. Gaffer, like, and he was just sitting there, just shaking his head, just like that. I mean, but he was mad though, because he used to come watch our U team games, and before the first team games in the morning, and he would like that. He would just blatantly tell you like I was playing left back, and he'd say he'd just pull me to the side and go like, "See that winger?" He said, "When you get a chance, smash him early doors, smash him like." And I'd be like, "Ah, oh, well, he's told me to do it. I'll just fly through someone, man, and like be on the sideline like that."
We're loving it.
And he'd just be like that. I'd be like, "Fucking hell." He did it. That was probably in them days. That was his game, wasn't it?
Yeah, love the physical side of things.
He was just like ironing people out and things, but he was great.
You had Rhino and Macca then after that.
Yeah.
Did you really play in the first team under him? Not so much. So you really established yourself under McGee.
Yeah, we were thinking, what was it? It was in that white kit, and it was lovely, wasn't it? Pure white. I was mad. Like, fucking hell, whoever washed my socks were in trouble, mate, because I'm fucking always on my arse.
I know.
But he, with that, I played under them a few games. I remember that Easter bank holiday, it was absolutely roasted. It was just two crazy weathers, but it shows you south and north. We played Gillingham at home and drew 3-3. And then we went up to Burnley and we lost 4-1. It was just, it was pissing down the rain, freezing cold. And it was just a couple of days apart and going up north.
Yeah.
I remember just a bank holiday weekend, it was just crazy. Like, I remember, fucking hell, I think it was 3-1 up against Gillingham and we ended up drawing 3-0. I remember Essenthaler scored a great goal. It's fucking bouncing off the bar about 100 times before it went in.
That was the sort of start, the foundations there, the team that will go on to have success when under McGee.
Well, you've got to give a bit of credit. That's what I always say. You've got to give a credit to the likes of Billy Bonds and Patsy Holland, for the likes of Stephen Reid. I think he's made his debut. Bertie was playing in the first team then regularly. Timmy, Ives. Sads, I think he was, but he had a few injury fucking issues at the time. But yeah, them boys, and then Rhino and Mako, credit to them as well. And even to Bob Pearson in that way, if he was pushing for the youngsters. Because they say, listen, mate, some people don't want to play kids.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? They don't want to play them because can they trust them? But then can you trust the fucking...
I think the administration helped.
I believe that then they had Ray Hartford with them, God rest his soul. And Ray was good. I like Ray. I liked him a lot. In a way of just with his sessions. And when you go on in your career and you see Geezer won a premiership. Ain't many people say that, you know what I mean? Title as a coach and a manager with Kenny, like Doug Leach, and you think he was good, but at the time I don't think they wanted Ray. I think Ray come in 2 days a week. When really they Ray be involved and take the training, because Mark McGee used to let Ray do the training and Steve Gritt at the time, and you could see let him loose with the boys and see what he could do.
Well, you felt Rhino and Macca held him back a bit.
Yeah, because I think he only come in Thursday, Fridays, really. And I was thinking, fucking hell, Geezer's won a premiership and he was young then. He ain't old.
Do you think that's a money thing, or do you think that was protected and they didn't want him too close to it?
Well, it sounds a bit young and naive. You don't really look at that like that. Maybe the older lads are different, but at that time. But what I'm only thinking now, when I'm a bit older. But me personally, I think to have someone with his knowledge and he's as a fucking coach, you know what I mean, and what he's gone and done. Really take the reins and you just put with him. But maybe they had it in their head that they wanted to do it their way. So, and it backfired in a way because they got sacked. I say, no, I love Ryan. I ain't going to lie. Probably getting boys beyond it now.
Would you remember of them getting sacked?
I remember that. I'm sure it was Brentford. They took a lot of stick walking down to that tunnel. Yeah. It's a little bit over there. And I thought that was a bit, for me, what Ryan give the club and the fans and what he give himself. And I see him trying to rebuild himself after he'd done his knee and he wanted to get back and play. And you could see that in someone that he wanted to play for Millwall Football Club, and they turned on him. You know what I mean? And just me as a young boy, I felt subbed that night, and I just see it he got a lot of abuse. Not just him, the team as well, and probably deserved it. We weren't performing how we should be. Because how can Mark McGee come in and then we just go, and it was really maybe 2 or 3 players he brought in, and don't look back then for 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. So some of the boys that have been on as well, I don't know if you've seen them, but they've been so complimentary of McGee.
Listen, I'm going to cane him in a minute anyway. Fucking. Fucking got rid of me. No, I've only dealt with him, but it was, I don't know, different parts of it with that. But no, with McGee, yeah. And I think, I don't know, I did watch a bit of, I was still working. You boys were fucking all sitting there furloughed up, mate, getting on the piss, watching all these things. And the boys, 2 o'clock in the morning, someone's texting me, this is quality. I'm watching fucking Reedy, I'm watching Ives. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I've got to go work in the morning.
Oh, what's that on you got a group chat from the championship winning side, haven't you, still?
Yeah, the boys, they're great. Did he say about that, taking over the boys, Mark McGee? You know, when he took over from Rhino and Macca, did he say anything like that?
He was very...
he inherited a decent squad, I think.
Yeah, he did inherit a very good squad. But he did manage to take it to that next level. You know, obviously a lot of players also credited Ray Hartford playing a big part of that.
As I say, it's crazy. And it was only when Ray got ill, you realise, and that's no disrespect what the people Mark McGee brought in, by the way, before anyone starts jumping on that and going, fucking hell, well, no, good coach. But it was like Ray just had an aura around him like to be calm, especially when I got in the team under him. Like he would talk to you and things like that. As he said, everything went through fullbacks when he played in his team. He hated centre arse. I remember Darren Ward at the time, Daishi, and Nevers, like Skip. They never. If we'd done a attacking session, they just stood still.
Just stood there.
They just stood there, really, in a way. Like it went through fullbacks to wingers to midfield. It never like nowadays football. Fuck me, you never play at the back now like that. It's weird. Like Nevers getting the ball, and they literally head and kicked it and talked, get us up, and let's go. And like the lot went from Matty, went from me, Robbie, and that was it. Whoever, and it was mad, but yeah, and I think that's what Mark McGee, he inherited what a good side with a fantastic assistant manager there and a hungry, what at the time was it Stevie Grip.
Yeah,
and I got done for that as well. With saying being naughty in the youth team, Gritty was our reserve team manager, and I fucked him off as well, proper in front of all the pros. Yeah, proper. Give it to him. And he was like, "You little ginger prick, shut up! I'll do you in a minute." Like that, proper mate. I got fined there and everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah, mum and dad had to come up. I was causing murder, Rhino, mate. Yeah, I'll tell you another story here. Yeah, I was causing murders, mate, at the training ground. Like, I remember a snap rifle, put him out for free, I think about a month, even more. And my head just used to go, mate. And he was just running past me. I just fucking flew into him about waist height. And I ain't like now trying to act like an hard man or anything. It's terrible. Because I'm not mad as well. And fucking, just something weren't going right. I just lashed out. And idiot, really. And I admit it, like, with that. But I was just doing mad stuff. I don't know. It might have been growing up. I was just fucking bad. Pitch and things like that and getting sent off. And it weren't good, mate. You know, in that way. Look at him now. Like you fucking didn't get sacked or something. You know, like, and then, like I said, then about 2 weeks later, it's always with Eiffel. But before that, we'd done a one-on-one session, be fair. He'd rip you a fucking new one if you didn't like try, you know what I mean? And he'd have the shit and all that off you. You think you've got him one way and then he'd just get a big toe on it and he'd go past you. I was just having a stinker against him, mate. And he was just tearing me up. And fucking Gritty was like, "Are you going to fucking tackle him or what? You think you can fucking tackle him?"
Try. I can't get near him.
I'm trying. He's just fucking like taking me to the cleaners here. And I'll just always remember it. And I just turned around. I just went, "Look, will you do me a favour and just fucking like fuck off?" And he was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You fucking talk. I'll do you in a minute." Like, I just lost me head and Gritty just fucking, like Dave Savage was there and they all laughing at Gritty. "You're going to have that, Gritty. You're going to have that off." Like, and all swearing like that. But he went, "Yeah, you're going to have that off him." And I was like, "Oh, mate." And yeah, I got sent home. My mum and dad had to come up. And Rhino was going mad at me, mate. Mad at me. And then I got injured. And I was laughing at Jerry, the physio, like, he was telling me I was always talking in the changing ground, like, in the changing room, like, I was supposed to be doing a rower. And I started just talking away to people. And Jerry's like, "Are you going to fucking do this rowing? Or what?" And he was a lunatic as well, by the way. I can't do his accent, but he was a fucking lunatic. And, you know, with him, you don't know if he had like one side, if he was joking or not, he didn't know. So I was going, "I'll leave it out, Joe. I'll knock that out in a minute. Don't worry about that." And he was like, "Knock it out in a minute." He said, "I'll fucking knock you out if you don't fucking get on there." Like, I was like, "I don't get your knickers in a twist," and all that, giving it to him. And I thought he was having a bit of banter. He was deadly serious. And I could see him like fucking like shaking when he like, so he went and told Rhino, like, Rhino come down. He said, "What the fuck?" He said, "Listen," he goes, "You're fucking wrecking at the minute." He said, "You're injured." And he goes, "Then you fucking," he goes, "Then off me bloody assistant, like Stevie Grit." And then he goes, "Then you're snapping Paul Eiffel in half."
You're fucking pissing off Rita while you're at it.
Yeah. That's
clean the pots and pans.
I was getting like that. And then I think like, remember like Macca like pulled me to the side as well. And I just had a little sit down, talk to me and said, like, "You've got to start behaving in that way." And I did. I think the penny dropped in that way. Because like, especially it was what I'd done to Ifes at the time, could have like ruined his career. And he was for a long while. I think he was like, weeks along in football. And yeah, so just crazy. But yeah, going back to Mark McGee's.
Well, I was going to say with McGee. So when you got to sort of he's managing, do you think you calmed down a bit, or do you think there was people who was equally as mad as you, like Denzel, like Birchie in the squad? Took the edge off you a bit.
You know what, Birch was funny, mate. You know, like, because I come in when he was in the youth team, and like, it was mad. It was not like how it was when certain players went to that training ground. That training ground, like, I remember we had a big bar in it. You used to get your kit behind the bar and a Stella if you wanted one. Like, it was just crazy.
What, Kelmon?
What's that?
At Kelmont Road?
Yeah, when that was when I first went there, that where it was they had the changing rooms, but it had a bar where the physio room was and all that. There was a bar going across there, and it went. And I remember that going in there and you're getting your training kit behind the bar, and it's still like that. I mean, that was different. And then that summer they knocked it all through and then had the kitchen built, and it become like our I thought at the time as a football club. No, it was not like at Fulham when you lose your ball and you can't play no more. He said that as well. Like Stevie Claridge, when said to me like late on in my career, I listened to him a few times and fucking I wish I never knew. But he like there's worse places than this. It was just brought up as a random, but that's the thing that stayed in my head. It's like there's worse places than this. I don't know what the conversations were about, but it stayed in my head. Then I realised that when I signed for Grimsby, it was like there is worse places, and the name of I forget Grimsby fans probably hammering me now, but nah, it was grim up there. It was grim and cold. No.
What were you saying about Birchie then?
No, Birchie, like Birch was like wild. Like he was always organising stuff, even like I was young, you know what I mean? I'm looking up at him, and like Phil O'Neill was there at the time. As said Stevie Harris, like these boys were like on the fringe of playing first team football, and they were all like Birchie's organised. I think who's this geezer, man? Like he's proper chirpy, like, and I think he's got to be out of like South London, like East London, somewhere like that. And the next thing you know, like I asked him, so where do you live? He goes to me, I live in Hemel. I was like, what the fuck, where's Hemel? I'm thinking, no, he's a farmer, mate. Where's he got like this? Because he was bubbly, cheeky chappy. And he goes, we're going here, we're going there, we're going out West End, do this, do that. I was like, he's got to be like a bit of a boy, like. And the next thing, when he said Hemel, I was like to go home and ask my old man, where's Hemel? Well, he's fucking sweet basher, you know. But he was great. He was. No, Birch is good. He was good. And in that, when Birchie left, well, I don't think like we ever like replaced him as like. Sometimes you can't replace people with the banter and like the dressing room side of it. But again, could you turn down going to play for your team what you supported? But you know what I mean? Yeah, and he did get offered a deal, I think, but it's history, isn't it? Now, like fucking his life.
You mentioned the player there. You mentioned Steve Claridge. He was a character, wasn't he?
Oh, he was a great Cladger, mate. He's like Marmite. You like him or you don't. You know what I mean? Like But it's, you know what, with him, nothing fazed him. Like, the boys used to hammer him. I remember, like Daishi and people like that, they're the older pro, like, they'd be like, look at you, man, you're fucking like an old man, like, and you're like putting the bins out. And things like Kane and his clobber and everything. Like, and he just took it. He didn't care. He just was set in his ways, and that's how it was.
Wasn't he living out of his car at one point and all?
What's that?
Wasn't he living out of his motor or something like that?
Oh, mate, I told you when I moved his motor one day, didn't I? He always used to be like him. You'd always see the motor pulled up near the McDonald's and the Corals. I think it's Corals there. And you knew like, oh, Cladger's in today. Because sometimes he might not come in to train on his own. And BMW used to be parked there, mate. And you'd see him running back and forth getting a coffee from McDonald's. And he'd be in the Corals like at 10 o'clock in the morning. And he always used to come in and park his car. Well, not 5 times a week, mate. He'd definitely pull across the gate. He'd just park the motor in and leave it sitting there because he'd be the first one back out, straight down the bookies. You know what I mean? Like, so he didn't care. He didn't want no one to block him. And I remember moving his car one night to get out early, and he fucking he just had like loads of clothes. I told you, he had a skinny pair of pants just sitting on the gear knob, mate, like that. Yeah, they were Calvins, but I'll give him his due, mate. They were fucking all white, but they were brown, and like that. But he was just unreal. He was unreal. We had him as well. Dave Tuttle was another one, mate. They were just characters.
Have you seen the, who was it? I think it was Stephen Reid called it the Purple Passion Wagon, Tuttle's motor.
I bought him a sign, Passion Wagon. You know, like that. I was like fucking down at Southend or somewhere like that, and had them swinging on the old fucking thing. What goes, well, when I have one of them at Tuts. He was like, when you think of it now, mate, that's a naughty motor. Escort estate.
Surely, mate. Estates. Fuck me, yeah, they're old school.
Yeah, he invented dogging, I'm telling you. When you think of it, he's got one of the naughty mask on, mate, and he's up at Epping Forest, just banging it out down there, mate. Yeah.
What was he like, Daishi? Could you see him going on to be the manager that he is?
You know what? I met Dyche later on when he was playing for Northampton. And I was talking to him just briefly because, believe it or not, it must be a ginger thing, mate. We can talk and he can have a natter. Spent a lot of time with Dyche, so I was injured a lot. And he was injured a lot as well. And funny geezer, man. You know what? People go, I don't big him up too much. He's always getting bigged up in the papers, what you read and stuff like that. But no, as a player, we just talk about as a player. You know, like, did I see him becoming a manager? Yes, because he had that way of being a leadership on the pitch, off the pitch. And so, yeah, probably could see him being it with that. And it's proved it, isn't it? It's proved what he's doing.
You know what? I went and did, saying that, talking to Dyche, I forgot I even did it. When I worked for Sky, I went and did You Know the Drill up at Burnley. And, mate, he didn't shut up the whole time. He was fucking just, but just digging everyone out. The goalkeeper, the fucking geezer, the cameraman. I was like, I had in the background, so he didn't fucking have a pop at me.
Oh, mate, he's, well, you know, through your mate was on Soccer AM. I won't name him. But Dyche's friends with one of the blokes off there. I think it's Venners.
Him and Fenner's are really good mates. Yeah, that's right,
yeah. And they were at our training ground a few times. Remember when Tony Scass done the geezer with what's it, Kill Klein, isn't it? Done the arm wrestling. Remember they used to do that years ago? Kill Klein used to go round. Big Coventry.
Yeah, Brian Kill Klein, the killer Kill Klein.
And Scass done him in an arm wrestling, like, well, didn't do it. Just ripped Tony's chicken wing off me. It was like that. It just ripped his arm off. He went go and he went bang. I was looking at that, I was giving it, mate, he's got polo arms, mate. He ain't no. But yeah, I thought, out of all of them, I thought, yeah, Scass would have had a chance to do him. But he just absolutely tore Tony's arm off, mate.
Oh, he done Tone. I thought you said Tone done him.
No. He just literally 3, 2, 1, bang, his arm was down, mate. And don't learn, witnesses were there. And then I think they had a little shake, bang, good night. He got bigger then than he did when he played that Kill Klein. He was massive.
Big old lump, mate.
Yeah,
big tash, big mullet, didn't he? Played with Coventry and Newcastle, didn't he? That, yeah, I remember.
That's it, Newcastle. But yeah, with Dyche was friends with them, and they come down a few times. But yeah, as a player, yeah, he just didn't shut up. And the worst thing, I remember we was injured. I was injured with him quite a bit. I think he'd done his back. He did have a bad back. He was fucked for a while. And Jerry you'd hear him coming in. You know what I mean? He'd be coming through from when the kit room is, and he'd be like, you have to be in for 9 o'clock if you're injured. And you'd hear him talking as soon as he got out of the motor. And then Jerry would just be shaking his head, thinking, I've got another day of this geezer, man. You don't shut up. He'd be in there, morning chaps, all right? As the ice, and then he'd just be away. But he was a character. He'd done, when he was injured, all right, everyone who walked into the treatment room in the mornings, and he used to have, I don't know, a fetish about people with big heads. I think Bertie told the story about measuring Darren Ward's head. But young lads would come in and get weighed in the youth thing. And they had a few boys there. And then if I played with them, so I remember them a little bit, but they had his favourite words were like, look at the napper on him. Look at the napper on him. He's got a big napper.
A sniper's dream.
Oh, mate, he's going, look at the size of his head. Like, and we had a boy there, Darren Deegan. He did have a big head, mate. He had no neck. His neck was just, his head pushed his neck in. Poor little fella. Like, he probably was 6 foot, but his neck was tucked in. Like, his head was just, and he was going, God, he's got a big head. Like, and he's going, look at the napper on him. And Bashir Alimi. All right, mate, I'm telling you now, this kid, all right, if he played in today's football, he'd be like, was it Floridinho, whatever his name is, who plays for Man City, sits in front of the back four, just pops it sideways, gives it no pace, but just lovely left foot.
Sounds like Ryan Woods.
No, this time at Millwall, mate, it weren't none of that, mate. It was turn them and let's have a go at them. And like that. It was at the wrong club at the wrong time, or the wrong time in life.
You're mentioning all these players. Just before I forget to ask you, the Moses Ashkido, was you there the day? Him and McCammon, was you there that day?
Oh, mate, I come back, didn't I? I was on loan at Brentford, and I had a severe bone bruise on my foot. And he fucking, mate, was a lunatic. The kid, no, but I've got to give him his due, all right? He had so much arsehole, all right? Because he would pick on the biggest blokes in the club. He wouldn't just pick on like little geezer like me. He'd go like Scass at him, Willie Garrett at him, and Mark McCammon. They're the 3 biggest geezers we've got. Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, there were 2 of them 3. If one ain't, believe it or not, both of them bashed him. All right? Like, I think Scass, he threw a weight at Tony. He threw a proper weight. All right?
So what was it? Did he have issues with what they were saying, or was he just too mouthy and they give it to him?
Yeah, it's like that. He was a young kid, all right, coming through, had a very good talent, and listen, mate, he threw it away in that way. You know what I mean? Because he could have gone on. I know he was a freshman football player, but the levels that they were talking about with him was frightening. You're in the first team, mate. You got to take a bit of stick. Take stick nowadays, mate. I got to take stick off the boys last night. But if you think of it, getting like ripped, like you little, like in other words, a little prick coming over here, think you can like do it, and like shooting session. Like Tony would save it and give it to him. Look, you're going to have a shot on all that, but he couldn't take it. That's the thing. I don't think he could take the banter in that way. And that's why, like with the incidents with Tony, I think something happened like in the gym, and mate, the big fella lost it, mate. And I was like, wow, he's like tearing down the walls to get to him.
Oh, Denzel was.
Yeah, he was still giving it back though. I was thinking, mate, he's going to tear you apart. Don't even go near him. Like, he kicked ground and the neck was out, mate, the veins and everything. I was like, whoa. I said, don't hold him back because you're cop one, you know what I mean? And but in the same the reserve game, I said it in my moments, one of the maddest moments. I think he threw a can of drink at Willie or spat in his face with a drink. He just fucking, mate. And I told you, Colin stabbed Willie with the scissors because he's trying to get him off him. Willie
so Moses threw a drink or spat at Willie. Willie's gone for him. Willie Gray.
He's cutting the strapping off after the game. And we've all just tried to... No, there was no one holding back Willie Garrett, mate. Was
he big, Willie Gray, then?
Wide, mate. He was wide.
Oh, because he always used to wear jogging bottoms. He didn't look that tall in goal, but he looked like quite stocky, yeah.
He was wide. And he just went back to the angriness, mate. And I'll just tell you, he lost it. And the first time I've ever seen Willie get the umpire, if you weren't like... You wouldn't want him like rip your head off or something like that. And he just went for him. And Colin just went to try to just grab hold of him and he was just gone. And he thingy.
So the physio's got a pair of scissors in his hands. He stabbed Willie in the arse. He stabbed Willie in the arse.
It's a good one.
Oh no, we'll have to cut that bit out.
Even that though, I see Kevin Braniff. Sorry, he popped Moses clean out in the training session.
What?
Yeah, just mate, he can fight as well, Braniff. Good boxer, you know.
Really?
We went under Wisey, and he was just tuning everyone up, mate. He was like, we went down Thomas and Beckett with, was it that one? I think it was, down the Old Kent Road. I'm sure it was that one, with Wisey, when Wisey was manager. We went down there and it just got picked out, like, well, it didn't really like put you with a big one because you get ironed out, like, but he got in with everyone, mate, and he could box. He was tuning a few of the big lumps up, mate.
Was he really?
It went bad, but I'll tell you what, he put Moses away one day, mate. I swear to God, I'll give him his due, Moses. He got straight back up and wanted it. And I mean, flush, bang, like on there, mate, gone over, crashed, laid out.
What, during training?
During training, mate. And I swear, he was like Tyson Fury, the geezer, mate. He just bounced straight back up. It was the best I've ever seen. I was like, oh, wow, I think I'm never going to tell Braniff track back again. I'll do it politely. I was thinking, I was like, wow. He proper clumped him, mate. And I swear, bosh.
Flop.
Yeah. And he hit the penny, mate, and just bounced straight back up. I landed and he just bounced back up and he go, oh, come on. Oh. I was like, mate, he's just put you away for about fucking 30 seconds. Stay down.
Jelly legs, getting back up.
Fucking hell. But he did. He just, yeah. And when the Mark McCammon one, mate, I just come back and I wasn't there when it just, I come back and it was just a mayhem. Going back to Dyche, listen to this, all right? He ended up like thingy with them kids, you know, like the boys in the youth team. You get nicked nowadays if you've done this. Like parents be like calling up saying, why is my kid laying on a weighing scale and weighing their heads? I swear he had a weighing scale out and he weighed Basher Alimi's nut and Darren Deegan's. Jerry was going like mad. Like, is this guy's on a wind up? He's injured and he's bringing people in here to try and weigh their heads. Because he got on the away game, coming back to measure Darren Wall's. He had a nugget as well, Waldy. Yeah. He's a young, scared youth team player. I can imagine them. Isn't it now? Oh, mate, you get...
But Darren Wall, first team player, I can't imagine he's too happy or he's going, fuck off, get off me or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
He stood there, straight back, Waldy. He's so straight. He's my roomie, mate. He was the funniest roomie in the world.
Who, Darren Wald?
You know, this mad thing, all right? You know, like, it was crazy, like, all the room, like, people there. Like, Matty coming with ice, like, drove in from Brighton.
Yeah.
But he would go with Scass. Like, I thought we'll go with Scass. Matty, who did Matty go with? I think he went with Chopper. I'm sure he went with Chopper. I used to come in with Livers a lot because being like he was Tottenham, I was Hackney. But I used to go with Wardy and Livers would go. Yeah, like rooming. Yeah, it's mad. Like Harry, like people were close, and like because Ives and Timmy were close and things like that, but they
didn't room together.
Yeah,
I can't imagine you, and I can imagine you with like a can of Coke, a bag of crisps.
I was a fucking good pro in them days, man. I never used to eat or drink. I was good.
Oh, really? And I can imagine him being a clean freak, Darren Ward, in the room.
He was. He used to feed me seeds that night. Like I was a fucking bird or something. He used to come with a bag for life. He was the first geezer to have a bag for life. And he just had all the supplements in it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pulling out fucking Ben and Jerry's ice cream and he's fucking... he's thinking, mate, he fucking...
So yeah, Darren Wall would have come later. Let's talk about winning the league. That part of...
Oh, yeah.
Mate, do you know what as well? You was a good left back, but you did have some stiff competition, didn't you? I think Jamie Stewart was on the way out by that point, but obviously Robbie...
Yeah, listen, I'd never... Believe it or not, like when you speak to Rob and he says, like, I just wanted to play and things like that, you've got to look up... I looked up to Robbie as a left back, as a defender. Say, like, going forward, no, like that, we'd never play in today's game, mate. We'd have to look to find another position. Fucking bomb on there, mate. You never get...
Nice. Changed, didn't it?
Yeah, and like that. So, as I was coming through, I was like, mate, I've got to admit, I ain't going to lie here. I've probably injured a lot when I look at my whole career. But I was injured a lot of times. I went for a stage at Millwall, like a growing thing. I kept getting like really bad hamstrings. But I weren't pulling them. I went to see a specialist there. They took me to. But it was like, it was mental. I don't know, something doing my back. It was just fucking playing. It felt like I kept pulling my hamstring, but I weren't not tearing anything. And I'd come back, I'd play. And you know what I mean? You think like fucking, I'd get a run of games, like in the reserves or something like that, be right on or sub. And then coming Monday, my hamstring be hanging off. I'd be like, fucking hell, here we go again. So that was frustrating. Even like the year I broke my ankle, that was horrible. Like being out for that long. Like someone told me 6 weeks, 6 months, I'm still standing around my ankle in my hand, thinking, how the fuck am I going to like ever play again? And I got back from that. But yeah, they thingy with that. I don't know where fucking.
I remember you had a blinder at Coventry. I remember that day.
That was a little bit later on. And I'll tell you what. I had a touch. Mark McGee coming. Remember the year we won the Division 1, weren't it? Division 1. I remember that season, I played a few games, and that was the year I was really struggling. Jamie was gone then. I'm good friends with Jamie. He helped me out a little bit later on in my career. And he was gone, and Robbie was the left back, if I'm there, and I was just playing second fiddle. I said I was getting injured and stuff like that. Mark McGee was there. We had a good side, like the takeover from Rhino, and then next thing they kicked on, and then that following season they were flying.
The year we won the league, was you obviously didn't start? Was you involved that day at the last game against Oldham?
What was that?
Oldham, we won 5-0. We won the league.
Yeah, won the league. Yeah, and really scored that belter, mate.
Was you involved that day?
Was I involved that day? No, I weren't. I was sitting in a stand, scratching my arse. You know what I mean? Like fucking. But I remember I was involved that season, played a few, but not, and just sat on the bench. And I remember Mark McGee, but he just pulled me to the side. I remember that we all had to go in the training ground. I think it was the next day or something like that. And fucking next thing, he just said to me, he went to me, look, bottom line is, you've had a season last year, you've played, say, 10 games, 6 to 10 games or some stupidness like that, you've been involved in. He said, and you've been injured most of he said, there's a good, like, everyone here is singing your praises, but you're no good for me if you're fucking injured all the time. And he was ruthless to me, you know. I've got to admit, it was ruthless, like the way he come across. But the penny dropped. Seriously, mate, the penny drops in that way. He went to me, look, we're going Germany. When we come back, we've got a pre-season tour. We're going to go to Germany. He said, at the minute, you're not on it. And I was like, what? And I said, fuck, we just won the league. I was buzzing yesterday. But mate, it was the best thing I think someone said to me. And you know what? Was it right or was it wrong? Or did he put that fucking there to say, look, going son? If you understand what I mean. So literally, mate, I had about 2 weeks fucking about. I think I was I was 19, 20. I had about 2 weeks of fucking about, mate. I went running. My weekends were my days off. I'm sorry to be busy now, boys will be taking like laughing. But I was like, weekends were my days off. But I run Tuesday, Wednesday, fucking Friday. And then swimming and fucking thingy. That was it. That was what I'd done in them days. And I come back, mate, fit as fuck. I swear to God. And I always remember that. It stays in my head, that pre-season. And he brought Matt Lockwood in. I always remember this, the kid from Orient. He was scoring all the fucking for free. Took everything from him. I think he was fucking, you know what I mean? He was taking, fucking giving tea out to people, you know what I mean, for Orient. He done everything. A big fan of Robbie. Robbie was fucking spitting feathers. Oh, Jesus, fucking man, love. Fucking hell, bring him in, take my place. Fuck off, Rob. We got him, Sam, we got him. Don't worry about it.
Before, so say you won the league, you're buzzing. McGee says we're going to fucking Germany. Get fit for that, or you're out the fucking door, or you're not coming to that, basically. But before that, I believe there was an end of season trip to celebrate winning the league, wasn't there, somewhere?
Oh, yeah, Tenerife, mate. There was the one before it as well. Remember we got beat by Wigan under Rhino, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that was crazy, mate. That was mad. I remember I was fucking sub, like, first shock. I was subbed that night, and it was hilarious. I remember, like, we got beat. Well, not hilarious, fucking hell. But it was hilarious what happened after. It was, and this way it changes. You're crying 1 minute because you just fucking could have been promoted again. And then next thing you're fucking.
Oh, you're talking Wigan when we lost in the playoffs. Yeah, sorry.
You can be like fucking, you're crying. The next thing you know, you got like Scouts going, here's my card, get in fucking Asda's quickly because it shuts at 11. We need some booze on the fucking bus. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing supermarket sweep with Dale Winton running behind me with his Hampton hanging out. And I'm like that, just slinging everything. I had 2 trolleys, mate, bosh, like that, just fill them up. And we got on the bus. And then I remember like the boys like Fitzy was on there. He was just like organising the trip to Tenerife that night. Fucking hilarious. Remember them days? There was no mobile phones, like as phone as like internet on the phone.
Of course.
Phones, but like he's phoning home, getting someone to book it. It's fucking great. You got like Chop involved in it. And I remember they had to phone my mum and ask, could I go? My mum pissed up. I said, don't be rude to my mum's up. And he's on the phone, yeah, we're going, okay, Miss Ball, we're going to take Ronnie away and all that. I don't even think he remember it. He was that pissed. Next thing you know, he's got his fucking boots on his head and stuff like that. The buses, we've just been beat. And next thing, Rhino and Macca are like fucking crying in their beers. All the boys are at the back fucking buzzing, like, yeah, we're going to Reef in the morning. We're going to Reef in the morning. And we went there and we had a good turnout there. That was good. And we lost, but it made it better for the next season.
Yeah.
We played that and won, and we went there, mate. It was fucking
back to Tenerife again.
Yeah, well, I heard this, all right, and I'm not having it, all right, but Birchie reckons, all right, fucking Theo said we could go anywhere, and boys chose Tenerife.
Yeah.
Birchie reckons there was a Vegas fucking sitting on the table. It was great. But as I said, there must have been about, I'd say 18 to 20 of us, even maybe more.
Mm.
And it was fantastic, great. And it was just the togetherness with the boys. And I say, like, Paul Moody, remember Moods? He was great. I think, you know, like him, he was a beast as well.
Yeah, he's
right?
a fucking unit.
We scored, like, how many players he would have on his back? You know what I mean? People were jumping on him, like, fucking about 8 or 10 players, like, hanging on. He'd still be standing there like that. He's funny, mate. You know, he's a character as well.
We come back and maybe that Tenerife trip helped a little bit with team togetherness because we fucking nearly went up again.
Oh. The boys hit the fucking ground running. All of us. I think everyone was a big hype. And I always remember that day we beat Norwich, didn't we? 4-0.
Yeah.
We were celebrating. Well, I remember just being in the dressing room after. I had a good pre-season that year as well. And that was the year I had the good pre-season. We went to Germany. Was it Germany, that one? No, the year they won. Yeah, it was. It was. Because I remember, this was funny though. We went to Germany and fucking the old Millwall fans were up to mischief again. And fucking they cancelled the whole thing, didn't they, out there? We were supposed to play Eintracht Frankfurt. And there was a big build-up to it. Fucking, we didn't play them. We ended up playing like fucking third division fucking car sales team. Fucking, it was hilarious. Like fucking hell. Like on a fucking Friday night in like middle of nowhere. And the boys were fucking spitting feathers. You know, like we standing out in the middle of nowhere. To me, I thought it was like fucking Vegas. Leaving Hackney to go to fucking Germany. It was like, fuck, hey, what a year, boys. I loved it. You could see like the older pros were like, what the fuck we come here for? There's nothing about.
Yeah, they wanted to go out, obviously, didn't they?
Oh, mate, fucking... I remember Moods, he nicked a bottle of wine out of the fucking case or something, and it dropped and smashed, and it was like, that's how bad it was. They had a big wine cellar underneath this fucking house we were staying in, because that's where the treatment room was. And Shocker got injured out there. I'm fucking walking around with groin in my hand as well. But no, they have a good pre-season, like, with that year. That was the year, had a good pre-season. And as I said, Matty Locke would come out there. And I think Millwall were going to buy him or something. And that's what I was saying. Robbie was having a panic up. And to be fair to me and Robbie, we had a good tussle for the first team that year. And Robbie, he won the league. So that team deserved to start the league. And they started really well. Well, we started really well. We won 4-0 and Norwich. And I remember fucking coming back. We played Birmingham the week after at St Andrews, and they'd done us 4-0.
Lost 4-0. I remember that day.
And I remember Ray Hartford. It was. I remember just coming. I don't think he said much of it. I can't remember. He probably did, but I remember Ray just standing up and just going to us. See, you think it's fucking easy? You know, you've had your fucking. In other words, your pants fucking pulled down.
Yeah.
And this is what it's about. You can't be thinking at the Den we're going to smash everyone. You know what I mean? I always fancied us at the Den, even when we played Birmingham in the playoff and we got beat. I put everything on. I swear to God now, I'd put everything I have. We'd have beat them that night. When we got beat 1-0 Stern John. And I just never thought. I thought we'd done the hard work at St Andrews.
Yeah. Well, once you said it, you can more say Ray Alford said, "Don't think it's easy." We sustained it. I thought it was there or thereabouts to the end. At St Andrews, you played that. You started that day, didn't you?
No, I come on the sub. I had to get Robbie Ryan out. He was a fucking nightmare.
You know what? I remember you being involved in the celebrations for the goal. Big Dion Dublin.
Oh,
what was he like, Dion?
The playoff, yes, the playoff. You on about the playoff? I'm on about the one where we got.
No, yeah. fast forwarded. Sorry to the playoffs. So we sustained it for the rest of the season in the playoffs. Oh. Dion, what was he like, Dion?
He was great. You know, with him, to have someone like him coming at the time, as I say, not say bigging up Mark McGee and Ray and the club really to bring that sort of player in, and give him that to bring in his aura, what he had and what he was good. I spent a lot of time with him, but you know, like when you sit down and have dinner and all that, he would always be talking to you about stuff, and he'd want you to talk to him. Not it was I'm Dion Dublin and I drive every Merc in the world, because he'd turn up in every Merc, mate, fucking hell. And but that's what you are if you're playing for Man United and things like that. And Aston Villa, he was good to talk to, and I just fire things at him. Like say, ask me what you want, like a way of talking football. And he was good. Like he was saying, like, listen, mate, you get to the Premiership, it opens another world for you, as in football terms, not fucking you still got a kid's wife or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was saying it just opens you up to different ways, and the way the club would move as well. And I think he had that because I think the way he looked at some of the players we had there was young, hungry players that wanted to win and do well, and who could probably go on to the next level. So yeah, I'd say he was great, mate, to have around. And I don't know if I might have told you on one of the other ones is when he missed that open goal when the keeper dropped it that night and he put it wide.
You're talking in the second leg now, and you're up the back of the Den.
Yes, the second leg when he dropped the goalie dropped the ball, didn't he? And he had a left foot at it and he put it wide. And I remember coming in and you could hear this noise in the dressing room. He was going fucking Garrity, and there was a big like physio bed in the middle of the dressing room, and no one ever used it because we had the physio room. But you would just get on there if you want to do your stretching or sit on there and fucking talk to someone, you know. And it was really heavy. It took 2 of you to lift it, mate. He was just swinging it around like it was a fucking coat or something like that, mate. He was another man. He didn't want to touch him, mate. He was
fuming with himself because he missed the chance.
Yeah, yes, he missed the chance. And I remember him just slinging it. He was crashing off the walls and everything. Just let the big man get his anger out, really. But he was good because, again, going back to what I'm saying, a lot of things come through the fullbacks. And I remember playing at was it Rotherham away? We drew 1-1 or 0-0. It was a horrible game, mate. It was just the ball was in the air for fucking 90 minutes, and it was literally fucking head kick, and tackle. And he was just saying to me, I ain't running no fucking channels. Right? I'm just going to stand up here. He said, see this fuck. I remember his name was Swales or something like that, centre half. He said, he is fucking going to get this all game. He said, just fucking hit me. He said, after he's had the first one, he said, he'll have the second. He said, he ain't coming no more. And I remember him saying it to me like, he said, don't even fucking look at that channel. You hit me on a diag or dead straight. And he said, but I'll be on the diag. He never come out of it. He said, I'll let that old fucker run around Claridge. He said, but if you're hitting me, so hit me on a fucking diag. And he goes, he will not come through.
It's a strange, it's a great forward combo, but it's a strange forward combo, like personality-wise as well, Claridge and Dublin, isn't it?
Because that's what I mean. I was talking to both of them, like used to, like playing. I remember going over the Arsenal to watch them against Cambridge in the FA Cup. It was Claridge and fucking Dublin up front.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, but mate, when we look over the Arsenal, and it was FA Cup third round, they got fucking Arsenal. And both of them were up top. I got them in the programme, and I was like, fucking hell. And then both of them up front. But they, pleasure to play with, because you could slap the ball up, like, not being funny, fucking kick a 50-yard ball, and it make me look good. And all I've done is pop me the fuck as far as I can. And they've been old for you, things like that. Yeah, but it was a credit to the club to get
him in.
Someone like that. And it didn't work, but that was like.
You said you got, going back a little bit, you said you got the 1 year deal. They ripped it out, they gave you a 3-year deal. Did you then, after we failed to go up that season into the Prem, McGee stayed for the rest of most of the next season, didn't he? But you must have got another contract. So I just checked. You was there till 2004. I didn't think you was there that long.
Yeah, I signed another new deal. And this where it all went a bit tits up, and I fucked myself up in a way, really, because I could have seen that. The managers didn't want me there. You know what I mean? As I said, why is he didn't like me for some odd reason? And the thing is, he's a family friend, all right? I found out after and things like that. But he fucking done me nothing, really. I didn't like him. I just got to say, not because he got rid of me, I just didn't like him in that way.
Who else was it? Who else? Oh, Tony Craig. I interviewed Tony Craig, and Tony Craig he just went to me, you ain't going to play under me. That's it.
Oh, he came to me. Like now, I tell the truth. Like now, he came to me. To Tony Craig, he went to me like that. He said, he's going. What? It's mad. I know I've gone on from there. I got loaned out by Mark McGee to Yeovil because I was just sitting around and I was getting the fucking hump, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Because I played last year. We won we nearly got promoted. I got player of the year, young player of the year, not player of the year because Tony got it. And he got player of the year. I got young player of the year at 21 years of age or whatever. Fucking. Then the next year, I'm getting fucking like, in other words, see you later. I'm out. And I know because I had a rear up with Bob Pearson and things. As I say, it's mad what happened. I tell that now. As I said, I fucking 1 minute, I'm sitting with Theo. This is crazy. I've gone in to play Crystal Palace reserves, right?
Yeah.
I get a phone. Dave Tuttle phones me up. Ron, just giving you the heads up. Yeovil put an interest in you. I went, fuck off, Tuts.
What was it to do with Tuts?
He just giving me the heads up. I think he was hanging out at Bob. So I think like he was so he goes, I've just been with Bob, and he said the phone calls come. Yeovil will come in for Gary Johnson. I knew Gary Johnson because he used to be youth team manager at Watford. You know, like when we played like that. And so I do know of him. Next thing I went, okay. He went, he said, look, I'm just giving you a heads up. He said, they're going to fucking pull you before the game. And he goes, it's up to you what you want to do. So I said, look, all right. So I phoned up my agent at the time and I just said, look, what should I do? He said to me, look, leave it to me. He said, no one's come to me. So I went, all right. So he phoned Mark McGee, and Mark McGee was like, yeah, listen, like, fucking hell. We need, he said, look, it's up to him if he wants to go. But at a minute, he's not in my plans. He's not match fit. And I wasn't match fit because I was just I ain't played no games. So he just went to me, you're going to go out on loan to them. Do you want to go on loan to them? So I went, yeah, I might as well do a month there. And I was very surprised when I went like with it. But this was the funny thing. So next thing, I've come up to sit in like the stand, and Theo's there. Theo called me over and went, sit down here. So I sat down. He went, no. He said, how are you getting on? I said, all right. Theo, all right? Chairman of the club went to me, how are you getting on? He said, fuck me. He said, I'm telling you. And this was his words to me, all right? And I ain't fannying you. He went to me, fuck me. He said, we could have done with you out there Saturday. He said, are you injured? And I went, no. He goes, he said, I've got to have a word, all right? And I was like that. I went, have a word. I said, what about? He said, fucking, well, this Saturday. He just said it like that, as plain as you can, all right? I went, Mr. Chairman, I said, I'm going on loan tomorrow. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I'm going on loan to Yeovil.
Was this when McGee was manager?
Yeah. He went,
Funnily enough, because McGee did say during his interview with me that he had a very good relationship with Theo and he couldn't speak highly enough of him. But what he did say was there was points when Theo would say, how about him Saturday? How about play this one Saturday? So I can see that.
Yeah, he went to me like,
back to what you're saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I went, I can't fucking play. I went, I'm going on loan to Yeovil. I might have signed. There. Next thing, he fucking, that was me down the road down there. And I was like, oh. But I was knocking on Mark McGee's door all the time, to tell you the truth. I was horrible in the end. I was just getting the hump of it. And what I got out of him, and I swear down on my kid's life, mate, he turned around and told me, right, that, and the first time I ever answered him back, if you understand, as I might have in a game shouted, fucking hell, Gaffer, or like, fuck off, Gaffer. Like, first time I ever answered him back, right? I went and knocked on the door. He went, no. He said, I don't want to drop Robbie. He even said to me, I don't want to drop Robbie because his head would go. I was like, fuck his head. My head gone. You know what I mean? I was like, but I'd never said anything. You know what I mean? I just kept myself to myself. I went, all right, Gaffer. I appreciate it. He said, look, I'm going to go with the same team, see if we can bounce back. All right. And then all of a sudden, I just went into him and he just went to me. I went, Gaffer, what's going on? How can I be fucking 1 minute flying and next minute not? I need a run of games before you can just throw me in against Norwich and I fucking just done one game. And he went to me, so I just fucking, he went to me, and his words were, he goes, you're still the best left back at the club. And from this day on, mate, it puzzled me even now. Yeah. How the fuck am I the best left back at the club? But I sit in the stand every fucking week. And I walked out the room. I huff, I put my toys out of my pram, whatever. And I looked at him, and that's why he stayed in my head. And I wish I spoke to him when he was at the ground that time. But Dan, what does it matter now, mate? It don't matter fuck all.
No.
That's you know what
so
I mean?
This is under Mark McGee.
Yeah.
So it's under Mark McGee. So then you went out on loan to Yeovil, okay?
Yep.
When did you come back? Did you come back after McGee had left?
No, I just signed I'd done a month on loan, and it was all good as like fucking it could be for me there. I felt I had 7 games in a month to get, and I was just super fit. I liked the way they played. They let you off the leash, and they played football. Not saying Millwall didn't play football, by the way, but you know what I mean. It weren't just like a shit standard. You know, when you go down to Division 2, it was like they were going. You know what I mean? They wanted to go somewhere. Hungry players wanted to get on, and I'd done a month there. It was fucking fantastic for me as a player. But in the meantime, you can imagine what's happening. Imagine I turned around and said, Bob's phoned me up and said, your career's done at Millwall. I was like, how can it be done? I've just had Mark McGee on the fucking phone singing me praises.
Did he have the authority to even say that to you? Like, you going on, mate? I don't deal with you. I deal with a manager, yeah?
You know what? I'd see like that. I never opened my mouth. I was like a fucking pussy, mate. I'm telling you. I've been different on the pitch, but it was the respect for they were like...
To be fair, though, how old was you at this point?
22, 23.
See, old mate, I wouldn't have a clue what to say to someone at 22 anyway. Do you know what I mean?
And I was like, my head was gone. I ain't lying to you. I was gone. I went down to Yeovil. I didn't want to go to fucking Yeovil, right? But I just thought, I'd go there, I needed games, mate, because even when I played, I never got cramp. I got fucking in the first game. I was like, I needed games, and I did need games. And I'd done it literally to get games. Tuttle was like big. Dave was good to me there to talk to me because I wanted to. I'm not being funny. I wanted to play in a championship. I've just played there, and I thought I've done all right that season. I've held me up. You know what I mean? I thought I've done that. Fucking hell, let me have a go.
Yeah, no, he definitely did.
Yeah, and he just, it just fucking, mate, it just backfired. Like for me at Yeovil, because I got that phone call off for Bob, and I swear to God, I was only there about 2 weeks. And he's going, look, I'm going to get onto Gary Johnson now, get him to do a deal.
You hadn't even played for Yeovil at this point. You just turned up there.
No, I've played 2 weeks. I was down there for, and he said, look, they want to sign you. I think you should do. And his words were to me, your Millwall career's done. I just sat.
You should have said, well, in your opinion, Bob, or have you been told that in stone? Because I haven't. No, I've heard nothing.
Well, I was just shell shocked, mate. I was just sitting there like that. My mouth was wide open. I was thinking, I'm down here. It's fucking pissing down the rain and all that. I didn't think it rained anywhere, but I just felt proper low, mate. And I was like, you're having me over here, ain't you? I said, fucking the club, what? I'm not being funny. I've joined at 15, 16 years of age, and fucking want to play for and love playing for, I've been told I'm out the door, mate. I was like, nah, I ain't having that. So I phoned my old man up. I said, look, well, I phoned my agent at the time. And I just said to him, I need fucking, he turned around and told me, you're gone. He said, well, I've been speaking to Mark McGee today regarding a player, just over a player. And I just asked him about you. He said, I just threw you in. And he said, yeah, Gary Johnson's singing your praises. That's what he likes to hear, blah, blah, blah. That was it. I got there. So he said, like, fucking, that's a bit weird. He said, leave it with me. So I phoned my old man. My old man just fucking phoned Bob up and just fucking got stuck into Bob.
So you ended up going back to Millwall.
Well, this is what happened. I fucking signed. They asked me to sign another month, but you know what they've done? My head went, all right. And fucking the next game, I had a massive row with Gary Johnson in the fucking in the dressing room, mate.
Do you think it was an effect of what Bob Pearson had said to you?
It was on my fucking mind, mate. It was on my mind. I was thinking, like, love, I've just fucking told me I'm gone. I don't ashamed to me. I loved it at Millwall. Loved it. Didn't see anywhere else. I didn't want to go anywhere else. For a club that what I want to really play for. The supporters, fucking players. I know some of the players would never probably stay around. They were going to go. You know, you couldn't hold on to some of them players. Yeah. But yeah, I thought I want to be like, look at Alan Dunn, what he's going to do. He's fucking, he started as a boy then, finished as a boy. Well, I finished as a man there, sorry. Yeah. And fucking hell, you don't, it's a Rhino-like thing. That's what I looked at, really. Look at Ryan. He'd done it. I thought I didn't see anywhere else. I didn't want to go anywhere else. And then you get that. I was just, mate, and I just remember we played, I can remember it Cheltenham away. My head was gone. They kicked off. They pinged the ball straight over the top of me, and the geezer ran off the back of me and scored after about 30 seconds.
Is this your back at Millwall? She went back to Millwall?
No, this was just getting told this. Yeah, right. Yeovil by Bob. Like a Thursday, we went to fucking Cheltenham, and yeah, after about, mate, I remember they kicked off. I didn't even see the player running, and my mind was not even on the game, mate. And I just had an absolute fucking beast. And my head was proper gone. And I come in at half time and Gary Johnson was just staring at me, mate. But I never said anything to Gary either. And he was a manager you could talk to. And I'm embarrassed, or like say, like I've had this phone call with like that.
In his defence, he just wanted to sign you anyway. He liked you.
He liked me, but I burnt my bridge straight away, mate. After that game, I fucking let him have it. I proper did. And it was the wrong person to let him have it. I should have explained myself. After that, mate, I think he couldn't wait to get fucking rid of me.
You've lashed out him, and you're fucked off on the situation at Millwall. You've lashed out someone who's actually rates you as a player.
Absolutely battered him. And you know, I'd never again, if I fucking ever see him again, I probably might apologise. You know what I mean? Because I didn't need to do that. And he told me what was going on in my head. But I did. I ripped him. I fucking steamed into a few of the lads as well. Like in other words, they see him as like a father figure because what he's brought them through all the way up, and I'll give it to them as well, mate. Like, you can fucking sit down and I just had total head loss, mate. And I just a bit not right. And but again, I was just a young boy, like fucking. You know they say about putting arms around people. There's certain people I never had that there, and I just was fucked. And then I got injured about a week later. I fucking for Yeovil, and they sent me back. They couldn't get rid of me quicker. Fucking hell.
So then when you went back, McGee leaves.
I was sitting in the stand. And fucking people were going mad. I think we played, I don't know who we played that night.
It's a midweek game, yeah, I can't remember.
Midweek game, and they were fucking, the fans were going mad. Like, it felt a little bit good for me because they were saying, like, fucking hell, why ain't he playing? You've loaned him out and all that. Mate, it didn't help him, man. Listen, I never see anyone lose their job. It's no different from fucking working in today's life, mate, in the real world. And he got the sack, and then Wisey literally spoke to Dennis a day later. Dennis blatantly turned around and told me, he went, I'm getting the job. He said, look, and Ray Wilkins, but they went. He said, "I'll sort it out with Gary Johnson. I'll get them to I had another month loan. He said, I'll get them to knock the loan on the head. He said, you're out injured anyway. You're going to be out. I've done my medial ligament in my knee. Ooh. He said, like, you're going to finger. You're going to stay here now. And Wisey just said to me, look, Robbie's number one because he's been here. Tony Craig's going out to Wickham. He went, that's it. He said, and you're coming back. And he said, you got to fight out for Robbie, you and Robbie. And he said, look, you've been happy
with that, though, wouldn't you?
Well, I did. I said to him, yeah. He went to me, well, you're going to be out now. He said, you're going to be out for a couple of weeks. He said, look, you've been in front of him before when the team were flying. He said, why not? You can do it again. He said, and I've got faith in you, you will. I said, all right, lovely. And the words were, there'd be a new deal because my deal was running out that summer. He went, there'd be a new deal on the table to sign. I went, okay, lovely, mate. Fucking, I got back. I played one reserve game against Cambridge. And it literally, me and Nevers, because Nevers got the volley as well. He was in the reserves. I don't know, something happened to him, and he didn't like him. And we were surrounded by all the young kids. Like they played a youth team up against Cambridge. And I remember we got absolutely spanked, mate, about 4-0. And before the game, Ray come over to me and said to me, look, listen, it's your first game back. With a knee injury. He said, like, go easy, don't start fucking flying into tackles and stuff like that. You're going to play with a team today. I think we had a lot of injuries. So, in other words, just played a youth team. And Ray just said to me, like, take it easy. Don't go fucking mad, in other words. Bed yourself in, get like as many minutes you can under your belt, and we'll have you off. I said, all right, Ray, no worries. Next thing, mate, fucking played the game after. We got spanked, properly spanked. And Ray pulled me to the side and just said to me, look, you fucking don't worry about that today. It's all right. It was mainly getting 90 minutes. Next thing, I went, okay. I was getting changed. I come out of the ground, and at the time, my missus was in the motor, the ex-missus, sorry, and she was in the motor. She come with me. And then she went to me, I see her face. What's the matter with you? I thought, fucking hell, I don't need you fucking with a face like that after the game we've just had. And she just went to me. She said, oh, you ain't gonna believe it. He said, you just absolutely... I was upstairs with upstairs in the lounge, and fucking next thing, Bob Pearson and Ray Wilkins absolutely ripped you a new one. Went,
they obviously didn't know that was your missus sitting there listening.
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely ripped you a new one. Thing, he turned around Bob and his face hit the fucking floor. He seemed like my ex-missus sitting there. So I was like, no, you're joking. Bob just absolutely hammered me to Ray Wilkins. Like about my attitude in the game, and just hammered me, mate. I knew.
It does sound like he's got a bit of a beeline for you, doesn't it?
He weren't having me, mate, after that. I lost my head then. Like,
that's one game back from being injured, come back to the club. You've been at Yeovil, you played one game. You don't really judge someone on their performance with it there, do you?
And you know that, all right? And I went and see Ray the next day, all right? And Ray went, and I said, people love Ray Wilkins, all right? And I will never knock Ray as a coach, all right? Ray Wilkins, this is, all right? I'll never knock him as a coach. Fantastic, mate. He could put a session on, mate. It was unreal. You know, like another stage in your career when you looking back, he could put a session on like bang. It was wicked. It was wicked. You know what I mean? Like fucking proper high intense. And you see the boys thriving off it. And I was like, wow, this is good. And but mate, face to face, I didn't like him. And I don't mean this horribly. And people, as I said, I don't give a fuck about people, mate. But I didn't like him. I called him the next day and I said, oh, yeah, you know what, mate? He blanked me. He blanked me. And oh, mate, I'm done here. I'm done. Mate,
so your contract's expired then at the end of the season when we got to the FA Cup final?
But I knew, see, like there, and then I went to see Ray, like I said, we'll say the next day, it was after fucking day off or whatever. So I just said, I went, Ray, can I have a word? And he just was like, yeah, what's the matter? And I just said, mate, like the other day, I said, what's gone on? I went to him, like, what's gone on? Like, I went, there's two sides of what you said to me. He went to me, no, he said, look, at the end of the day, Ron, he said, look, it weren't good enough. That's what he said. I was like, fuck me, well, you said that. And you know what? I never bit back. You know, maybe I should have, but...
You changed his tune.
A week later, I get called in with Dennis. And Dennis just gave me that one, didn't he? He went, Ron, I know we was going to offer you a deal and all that, but you're not the same player what everyone was raving and ranting about. You're going to Brentford on loan. So
what do you say to me? You've judged that off one performance in the reserve since I've been back.
You know what? I thought I had the big hype, like I'm coming back. And then I get kicked in the bollocks like that. And my head was gone. I was fucked after that. I was like, oh, mate. And I knew there was no way back because listen, in the real world, Dennis was never staying at Millwall for me.
Yeah.
He ain't a person. I knew the boys would fucking turn on him. You know what I mean?
Didn't have the longevity to stay there anyway.
He had a fantastic fucking run what they've done with the FA Cup. I'll never knock that. I'm still there, you know what I mean? It was horrible, mate, for me, personally. And it was more even horrible when the injuries, what the boys had. I feel sorry for the lads who got injured, by the way, fucking hell, because everyone was playing a cup final. And then you realise you might have had half a chance because there was boys what was in a youth team on the bench.
Barry Coogan, I think, was one.
Fucking hell, I think Trevor Robinson And I like Trev, don't get me wrong.
Mate, Mark McCammon I know he's a striker, you're on left back. He got off the bench, Mark. He played in the FA Cup final against Man United, Mark McCammon. How's that?
That's what I'm trying to say. And I feel sorry for the lads what did be injured in it, because it's horrible, mate, when you get injured, you can't fucking play in these games, especially that game. But, yeah. And I was just, in other words, it was cool to be around, like, you know what I mean, a big FA Cup hype, and I'm not a part of it because I was fucking cup tired as well. So I was a month on loan at Brentford. So you was back at the club by this point. By the time we got to Wembley, where was you? Be fair to Wisey, all right, and that's where, say with Dennis, weren't too bad. He looked at it probably as that's heartache for someone just to be walking around like. So I just signed an extra month with. I never thought Millwall were going to get to the final, so I just signed.
Just to not be around it, you signed for Brentford just to stay out.
Yeah, for Brentford. And be fair to Martin Allen at Brentford, he looked after me. He shot me in the fucking back as well, the bastard, with a contract. But they sucked me right in that prick. But he sucked in. He gave me a stand-up bonus. And then when I went to give me a new deal, mate, he went, yeah, you got a good bonus though, didn't you? I was like, yeah, I want me same money I'm on at Millwall. He was like, nah. Oh, mate. So eventually you left Millwall, your contract ran out, and then you left for Brentford. Yeah, ran out. And I just went on loan to Brentford, and I finished up that season with Brentford. And it weren't too bad. You know what was good at Brentford though, with that, Ben May was there, Fitzy was there, Scott Fitzgerald. So they were as well from, I think they were, sure they were. So it felt a little bit better. And Wally Downs was there. Wally was good. He was good coach. For the I met him now, he was hilarious, mate. Turned up in his fucking Brentford tracksuit with his Gucci loafers on. He's a bit naughty out of West London, isn't he? I'm like, wow. He's got the Gucci's on, mate.
In total at Millwall, what was it? 9 years?
I've done 9 years at Millwall. 9 years. 9 years. And you know what, mate? As I say, that was the only bit. He's like, but listen, a lot of people get treated like it. Look at when you come to whatever it is, the end of it. Rhino, we was just talking about there. Even Mark, like, so successful with us, and then gets booed and fucking get out your scotch this and that and boss. And yeah, it is. Does it always end in a happy end? No, I don't know. Sometimes I'll just get out when you can, and still get to leave like Chopper's left and Livers, and some people have said, "Oh, yeah, he jumped ship and all that."
Well, mate, this is the one, you know, and sometimes I've had criticism, and ex-players get criticism, and I think, did I deserve that? And then I always look to Neil Harris, and I think what he did for the club, goal scoring wise, and as a manager. And then some people, you still see him on social media go, good, fucking Cardiff lost today. Fuck Harris. I'm like, wow, if he's getting called a what chance has someone like me and you got? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus, come on, man. That's what I mean. Like, listen, what do I do now? Fucking get off the phone to you, and I don't mean it's horribly, but start fucking, that's it, I've had enough. I'm swinging from the rafters. I've got to go work tomorrow, mate. It's the real world. No, that's why I'd never like now go back and like start. I said I didn't like Ray Wilkins. He didn't need to do that. And I just, if I spoke up for myself, but I didn't want to be like, he's a fucking wimp, that geezer, isn't it? He's renowned. That's what Dennis Wise said to me. He said, you're renowned to be a hard man. I went, and that's the only time I said to Dennis, I ain't a hard man. I said, I'm competitive. And he went, look, we're going to take the deal away from you. And you're not that player with what everyone sings about. We don't see it. And that's it. It's football. I had that later on in my career as well, mate. Don't worry about that. Fucking liar. You know what I mean? Russell Slade, mate. I fucking fighting with Russell Slade in the dressing room. And I hated that because he was a nice geezer, Russell. He was a nice geezer, fighting with him in the dressing room. But probably it took me anger out on other people what I shouldn't have, you know, like that with Gary Johnson. And Gary never had me after that. I met Gary a few times and I tried to, like, any chance, Gary was like, yeah, you can do one, son. You know what I mean?
So I always finish with the same question.
What?
And that is, if you could go tonight out, one last night out with 3 of your old teammates, which 3 would you pick?
It's a bit hard, really, when you think of it. Because, you know, like, again, going back to what I said, like, with, like, I used to travel in with Livers, and I'm really good friends with Livers. Like, when we finished football, I didn't stay in touch with him, like, all over that, but always looked out for him. But Tony Warner, like Scass, we had quality nights out in Liverpool, anywhere, really. Quality nights out at Tenerife. Yeah. And then Bertie for the wildness. And as I said, Birch, mate, he was unreal as well. So I don't know. So how many have I got to pick? 3. I'll probably pick, Birchie, just because he will just absolutely have the banter flying. Like, I'd say take Birch. I'd take the big man because, the big man,
I went to Russia with Tony. He's unbelievable company, mate, isn't he?
Yeah, it's good company, mate. And as I say, like, one night he just left me in Liverpool, right? We went up there after we got beat. Was it by Man City or something? Fuck knows. Robbie Ryan got absolute. I'll give it to Robbie now. I ain't give it to him yet. Right? Give it to him. I always used to come on when we had a decent winger, Rob. Remember Sean Wright Phillips? He got another £8 million put on his fucking price tag after he played against us. We were 2-1 City, weren't we? And fucking next thing, Sean Wright Phillips come on the scene. He's absolutely roasted Robbie. Crashed one in. Mark McGee went get out there and get stripped some. Get over a warm up. Next thing, he got the ball, absolutely toasted it again, smashed it in 3-2. I remember Scass banging the ground, mate.
Was that at home?
Yeah, at home.
They didn't have any away fans.
I might have been that night.
That one? Yeah, it was that one.
It was hilarious, not hilarious. I got the thingy, didn't I? Go and warm up, son. Like, in other words, let's lock up shop. We nick 2-2. Fucking, he's going to crash one in straight after that. Mark McGee, give you that one. Come and sit down, son. Cheers, Rob. I ain't getting no appearance money.
I reckon the third member would probably be you'll take for a drink, Robbie, just so you could give it to him all night.
Yeah, that was good that night thingy when we went out as well.
Yeah, it's a good night, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, take him out. Robbie,
it's collar you was on him. You was on Robbie Ryan that night from the fucking minute we met to the minute we left 12 hours later. And I think at one point he just went, why don't you fuck off?
Of course, yeah, he lost his head.
About 8 hours in, but then he just went back and he just reset and then he just carried on as he was.
It's just, with that, it was just fucking that funny, mate, with him. He's a good lad, though. All of them, like,
quality, mate. He's quality.
When you go through that team, every player had something about them. Even the likes, when I said Paul Moody, you can go there. Like Richard Sadlier, mate. Like that house of sin they had, that was fucking unreal, mate. I told you, that door was open 24/7. Not to you. You didn't even know him. You could have just walked in there, mate. Sat down, made a tea. Got your feet up, had an half hour, mate, and bust. Away you go. There was people asking Richard one night, who are you? It's Richard's house. It's his house, mate. He's going, who are you? It's my house. He's just turned up. Been mad, mate. Come out of that Delano's, mate. That place was on fire.
Thanks so much for coming on. It's been brilliant. As I said, you should have been on first. You're right, but I thought I'd save the best till last. 38. I'll have you back on 138. We'll talk again.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I've got other stories. Don't worry about that.
Molly, cheers, Ron.
No worries, mate. Look after yourself. My name
soon, mate. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.